Okay.
Okay, hello, it's Moving and Grooving Monday. It's November 26th. There's Andrea. Want to make sure you guys are wrapping up your November big. I'm doing some challenges for my unit. You should have gotten an email and a text about that, finishing your star by the end of November. And just really jumping on this ChromaFusion thing and the makeover contest, you guys. It ends December 31st. But go ahead and plant those seeds. I sent out a text message to all of my customers saying that I was looking for models. And I had a woman, I don't even know who she is. I had a woman contact me because she got the message from someone else and she is coming over with her 2 daughters and her girlfriend. And we're doing makeovers today. You just never know, okay? So don't say people are too busy, it's the holidays, I am having so much fun right now with my power partner, my daughter Jules. We are lining up all these guests for December 8th for our Breakfast of Champions, and we're doing makeovers at that, which again, we're doing the UK Color for Life contest, and just having a really good time with that. So it's always fun to have a partner that you're linked up with and you're doing these fun things with, and it kind of takes the pressure off of you because you can share that responsibility, kind of like Andrea and I doing these videos. I much prefer her being with me because when I need to take a breath or take a drink of my power tea, she can jump in. So today, one of the things that we are really concerned about is you guys closing your appointments solid and asking for the sale. And I've told this story before, but I'm going to repeat myself. It would be kind of like if Andrea worked at Macy's and she's in the dress department and she's my girlfriend and we go to church together and our kids hang out together, and I go into Macy's and I'm like, is Andrea working today? Oh, there she is. And so, sorry, first. And so I say, oh yeah, I've got this big party I have to go to next weekend. And, you know, I just really want something shimmery and shiny. And she's like, okay, come on. So we're shopping and we're looking and she's bringing me things to the dressing room. And it's just so awesome because it's always nice to have a personal shopper. And we're talking about the kids and we're talking about the holidays. She's telling me what she's going to wear at the party because of course we run in the same circles. And so I go to the cash register. We picked up my dress. I go to the cash register and she just stares at me. And I'm like, okay, so this is the dress I want. And this is what she does. Okay, you guys, you got to ask for the sale. She would say, do you want to put that on your Macy's card? Do you want to use another credit card? Do you want to pay cash? How do you want to pay for that? It's not personal. It's not personal. It's business. It's a transaction. And if I go, well, you know what? I think this might be a little bit out of my budget. Let me think about it. She would say, well, let me put it on hold. I can hold it for 24 hours for you. And then you decide if this is something you really want to go for. But I think it looked great on you. Mm-hmm. I thought it looked great on me too. She's not blowing smoke up my skirt. Okay. But it may not be in my price range. But she might say, you know what, Joanna, instead of that dress, that sweater, Christmas sweater, and the skirt, that looked good on you too, and it's about half the price. Why don't we revisit that? Or let's put them both on hold and you can make a decision. She gives me choices. She gives me options. But she's not afraid to ask for the sale. That's how silly it is. Now, last week, and I know I talk about Jules a lot, but I'm watching her right now, and it's very interesting to watch a 26-year-old. This is a very typical millennial, very career-focused, loves the business, grew up in the business. I mean, grew up by my side in the business. And it's interesting to see the holes in her education with Mary Kay. So that's why I'm sharing a lot of what I'm seeing. And I boxed Andrea, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she doesn't know how to close and she doesn't know how to ask for a sale. And so we discussed that this can really be an issue, that it may be awkward. And she even said, Mom, it was so awkward. Like I got to the end, I was on a roll, I'm doing all this stuff, and I was off to the side watching because she had it here at my house. And she was like, okay, here's the books. Okay. And I walk walk over and I go, here's a sales ticket. If each one of you want to fill out a sales ticket for whatever you want, whether you want it to take home tonight or sometime in the future, it's kind of your wish list because we keep your profile card. So go ahead and make out your wish list on the sales ticket. And here are the specials that we're offering for tonight. I pull out the closing sheet that I use, and I just kind of jumped in and said, all these sales are Jules' sales. And, you know, like she said in the beginning, this is going to help her pay for her master's so she is a better educator for her children who have special needs. And they picked up the sales tickets and started writing. But it was that transition. Now, when Andrea and I were talking, Andrea told me such a funny story. I'm going to let her tell you guys. But to stress how important it is to pull people away from the table for an individual close. I didn't last week because it would have been even more awkward for my daughter to be like, well, do I come with you or do I go with them? Like, what do I do? So I'm going to let Andrea tell you the story, which is so good. And then we're going to talk about how you can do that transition, the table close, and then transition to that individual close.
Thanks, Jo. This story really goes back to when I was taught, I went to new consultant training for literally 6 months straight. Now, the new consultant training is literally 2, maybe 4 Saturdays if you want everything. But I knew that until I could teach it to others, I didn't know it myself. Yeah. So I went back and I always had my new team members with me in Joanna's, we call it the Frog on the East Coast, family room over the garage, but hers was a, what's an OG, an office over the room of the garage. But it was very much what Mary Kay taught. So Mary Kay taught there were 4 parts of the party: the opening, the body, the table close, and then the individual close. And so what you just heard Joanna say was that transition to the table close, from the table close to the individual close. I'm going to bring us back to the very beginning real quickly. And Joanna and I are both individually working on giving you new videos for the opening, for the body, for the table close, based on what we each offer. And in the very beginning, I set up my clients during my party presentation to expect a couple things. And so I always tell them my goal today is that you become a customer, something. Maybe it's changing from a mascara to Mary Kay, or maybe it's a skincare line. That's my number 1 goal. My number 2 goal is for you to invite your friends and get free products so that you can fall in love with Mary Kay, but don't have to worry about the price. And I say that today, and my 3rd goal is, of course, to show you how you also can get ahead financially and reach some goals and have some more confidence with our business. And then I tell them, before we close today, each of you will sit individually with me so that we can schedule your second appointment. You get 2 complimentary appointments. It's like a checkup from the neck up. And that at that second appointment, we'll have more fun playing with the makeup and doing more specifics. But you also will be able to talk to me and ask me any private questions over here on the couch. And so at the very end, we'll just have a couple minutes so you'll be able to get your calendar out, and we'll schedule that second personal makeover for you. That prepares them so that it's not an awkward transition when I say, okay, you guys, thank you so much. We've gone through the table close and we've complimented all the guests. And then I hand out the lookbooks like you heard Joanna say. Here are the sales slips. Put down your wish list and anything you're falling in love with to take home today. And then I'm going to find my sparkler. And Mary Kay taught us, with the assistance of course, Rena Tarbett was also one of our number 1 teachers. She brought in David Cooper. So we had wonderful, skilled people in the world of sales. And quite honestly, we might not want to talk about the sales. We might have gone into this generation where we don't think we're sales. Everybody is sales. My husband in the medical is selling the nurses, and he was selling all the people on the ideas or to follow healthy ways. So we all, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a real estate agent, that's sales. And even if you're a project manager, you're in sales. So these skills I really got excited to learn, because as a dietitian, I was teaching people to adapt healthier lifestyles. So we're all in sales. We want to be excited to learn and become the skilled professional that we all are. And this is going to help you in all areas of life. So as I pre-warned or prepared all of my clients, then it's time to select your sparkler. You have helped your hostess so that she can take people into the kitchen, and not everybody's sitting at the table. They're up, they're going to have some snacks. They can, socialize. They can look at other samples. You have I like to set up samples in the kitchen or other places. And then off to the side, we have our individual clothes. So the story is, this is the way I was taught. I got to this woman's house, apartment, and it had a bedroom and a living room. And the living room was really small, and that's where we were having our party. But the bedroom was filled. She had her personal stuff all on the bed. So, that was a little awkward. And I thought, where am I going to have my individual consultation? I looked around. The kitchen had, the kitchen and the family room where we held the party were all connected. And I thought, that's going to be weird. Everybody's going to hear me say the same thing to everybody. I can't have that. So I found that around the corner, she had a bathroom that I could sit on the side of the bathtub and the customer could sit on the toilet, and we could privately have our individual consultation. So looking back, it was so darn hilarious. And I really played into it like, hey, you guys, I really want this to be the best and totally personal. And your questions are of utmost, and I don't want, you have privacy, and I respect that. And so I really played into that, but it was funny because we were on the toilet and the bathtub, but I had over a $300 party. And so you gotta really get excited to adopt these principles. So let me just go into, and I'm going to give over to Joe some of this next section, but I want to tell you that once you say on your at your table, you have chosen your sparkler. This is how easy it is. In your starter kit and your flip chart, forgive me, page 41, 45, 43, and 45 are going to give you words to say. Now, you can read page 41. That, of course, would be the back side. Wait a minute, I don't know what's on the other side. But anyway,
well, Dre, hang on just a second. Let's do the table close first on 37.
Oh, you want to do a table close?
Yeah, let's just do the table close real quick.
Okay, you do that.
Okay, so they're looking at this, and I say, I hope you all had fun. I hope you learned some useful tips about the importance of really taking care of your skin. So may I take a moment just to show you our most popular sets? Great. Everyone turn over the mats in front of you, and that's the placemats. I actually use a different closing sheet. As you look over these sets, circle the ones you'd like to take home if money were no object. When we get together individually, I'll tell you more about how you could earn some of these products for free. And of course, the set we tried today was the TimeWise Miracle Set 3D, which goes for $110, never say dollars, $110. For the ultimate skincare regimen, you can add the Microdermabrasion Plus set for a total of $165. Plus, you can add your perfect shade of CC cream for an extra $20 and the translucent powder for $16. And that's our ultimate set. And they're looking at the pictures of this. And then I do satin hands at the end. I do it right before I do the table close. I do the satin hands at the end. The reason why, or not after the table close, I have the hostess do it in the kitchen. This because I do the TimeWise on the back of the right hand. And so right before I say all this, I have them take their cleanser and put it on the back of their right hand and then wipe it off. And I re-explain what that is. And then a little bit of the day cream or the night cream, put it on the back of the right hand. Now put a little bit of your foundation on the back of the right hand. How does it feel? Smooth. Awesome. Great. Now, if your right hand represents your skin with Mary Kay, your left hand represents your skin just every day. So put just a little bit of the foundation on the back of the left hand. Now, do you see a difference? They're like, eh. And I always pick the biggest skeptic, not the sparkler, but the skeptic. And I raise her right hand and say, so I have to ask you, do you want to be right with your skin or left behind? And everyone laughs. And then I say, well, I hope you all had fun, and I hope you learned some useful tips, and then I go through this. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to look over the great sets shown here. Please feel free to ask me any questions you may have. Now, what you can do is you can take a highlighter and just highlight words, and then it doesn't look like you're reading it. But guys, don't be afraid to look like you're reading it. This business has got to look easy, and when you spout everything off the top of your head, they're like, deer in headlights. I could never learn all that. But if you're reading it, No brainer. Okay. So the next thing is the actual tablecloths. So you can read that too. And I'd like everyone to close your eyes. Imagine you're going into your closet to find your favorite outfit. Practice that a couple of times and you can probably just highlight a few words and be able to do that pretty easily. So another clothes that I really like, if you're not crazy about the outfit one, if you've got a bunch of people, maybe really young people who won't have invested in a nice dress or nice outfit yet and they're, don't need it yet, or you've got people who are super casual, like people from your gym and stuff, then I like to use the one of, having great skincare and having like the basis of your skin always look really good. It's kind of like being invited to a party and you've been asked to bring the dessert. And all you can find in your cupboard, all you can find is a can of icing. So you take a shoebox and you ice it. And now you've got your dessert. Well, when they cut into it, they're just going to have a shoebox with icing, right? That's very disappointing. But imagine you just had a cake mix with no icing. And you make that cake mix, and maybe you take just a little powdered sugar or a little cinnamon sugar and sprinkle it on top. That's acceptable because the basis of the cake, the basis of the dessert is really what you're taking care of. The basis of your skin is what we're focusing on. So that's another way to kind of close that. Okay, now let's go to 41.
Okay, and gang, we're running through sort of quickly. Sorry, my phone just died. I had to plug it in. We're running through pretty quickly the tablecloths, but we're gonna do another video that's only the tablecloths and how to sell the sizzle. And I really believe we've lost some of the skill that we poured into new consultants 10, 15 years ago. So this is something that we're redoing just for you because we want you to be hitting the $3 and $5 and even $800 average party because it's totally doable if you, number one, believe in the product, and number two, believe in your sets. Believe that they're the most amazing deal. If you don't believe they're most amazing deal, then people aren't going to even feel it coming from your authentic spirit, and they're going to buy one item. So we want you to really understand the residual customer base that we have is because we have sold those sets. So I'm going to now tell you. So let's just go backwards where you've chosen your sparkler. Okay. Now it's sort of a gamble. Your goal is to choose a person who's been the most receptive through the whole party, the most positive, that like, wow, this feels the best, because that first person that you're choosing is gonna make or break the vibe and the purchases of some of her friends. Now, if they're all strangers, it might not affect it as much, but when they're all friends, she's gonna come back and say, well, what did you go ahead and get? Oh, I just really felt like I deserve to have the whole complete collection. It's about time. Maybe I should do that too. So now she's set that tone. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, sometimes you find out that, she was the one that said, well, I'll only take the lipstick. And you're thinking, we didn't even do lipstick. What are you talking about? So it is a gamble, but the goal is to select the sparkler. So when you start to notice people, let me just back up because in my mind, I have to do it the way I do it. I've handed out all the books. I've said, here's the sales slips. And I say, I'm just going to clean up a little bit. And if you have any personal questions, we're going to sit privately. So I'll give you a couple minutes. And so I start cleaning up. And when I notice that they're done, at least the one person might be done, I'll tell everybody to go with the hostess and grab some snacks. And then I'll say, hey, Carol, are you ready? Okay, great. Grab all your papers, grab your calendar, let's go and sit over here on the couch. So I have specifically chosen a location that's a little bit out of ear range, and I sit catty corner. Now, I physically can't show you this, but I just want you to imagine at the end of a couch and then a chair next to the couch. Mm-hmm. If it's only a couch, then one end of the couch with some space in the middle. And that way you're not going to be interfering with somebody's personal space. You're also sitting eye to eye so that if you've stood above her the whole time during the party, you're taking away any kind of threatening level. You're also not going to be underneath her, which would again be a dominant kind of superior position for the customer. You really want to be eye to eye. And I bring over my travel bag, everything that I've proposed for the specials. I have an extra sheet for all the specials. She has brought her wish list. She has brought any papers. And actually take page 43, and I recommend that you just keep it as simple as this. And I say, okay, Carol, so part of my training is to complete all these questions, and we're just going to do it together. So this is why it's not at all scary. So you go, okay, I'm going to start, and I'll read number 1, and then you read number 2, and you have to answer all of them, okay? Because this is where I get credit. Okay, number 1. And I hold my finger up, and I go, okay, number 1, did you have fun? And I shake my head, and I smile. And she shakes her head and she smiles. She goes, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I go, okay, you read number 2. And
how does your face feel?
Oh yeah, you can be Carol. And then I touch my hand. I go, how does your face feel? And she's going to answer. And then I say, I'll do number 3. Do you have any questions for me as your personal independent beauty consultant?
No, you're good.
Okay, there you go. You do number 4.
So tell me, what did you like best about the Miracle Set 3D?
And I'm just going to smile and wait. And she might say, I don't know, what would you say?
I love the eye cream and how it made my eyes just really feel great.
I've been very impressed with our new eye cream. I agree. Okay, number 5. Did you circle your favorite sets on your placemat? And she'll say yes or no. I might even say, oh my gosh, what did you circle on your placemat as your favorite set? And I'll keep my finger there, but I might just change it a little bit. And then I'll wait for her to pull out her set sheet where she, or I'll hand it to her. I might hand her the set sheet. And then she'll say something, or I'll look, and then I'll say, oh my gosh, I love that special. That's one of the biggest. So if money were no object, what sets would you like to take home with you today? Now she circled something, and your question is, if money was no object, what would you love to take home with you today? This is an important question, and there's a follow-on question I want to tell you in just a second. So that says here now, and what are you most comfortable taking home with you? I might change that just because I'm sort of an old school. I was taught by Joanna, great, is there any reason why we couldn't get you started on that set today? So that would probably be what I would say, but you can definitely use this. And what are you most comfortable taking home with you today? If she says something other than what she circled, especially if it's not even a set. Let's say that if money was no object, she would want the 3D Miracle set. But then when it comes down to this question, she might say, I'll take the eye makeup remover. Okay, there's a disconnect. So you say great, and you start writing it up. But I definitely want to ask a follow-on question, because I want to also figure out, she may not say money is an issue, but I need to know, is she willing and wanting it badly enough that she's willing to work with me as a hostess so that I can help her get everything she wants? So I would say, great, I love the eye makeup remover. I love it. Personally, I go back to something I do in the very beginning, which is where I ask them, what are they most frustrated with their skin? And so I actually bring that up because she's written it on her customer profile card. And so if I say, oh my gosh, that's great, anything else? If she's hesitant, no, that'll be it for today. Then I'll go back to, oh my gosh, did you say you love the way your skin feels? Now earlier, I might even say, excuse me, Carol, I am so excited for you to start on the skincare, I'm messing up. Carol, I'm so excited for you to start on the oil-free eye makeup remover, but do you mind if I ask a question? No, I don't mind. If you had the 3D Miracle set in your bathroom, would you be excited to use it? Now I'm going to find out, is it a money thing? Because if she says, no, I think that, what I'm using is probably pretty good, then I've got a different response for that. But I just need to know, is this something that she would use if she had it in her bathroom? So there is some homework you need to do as a beauty consultant to memorize. What do you say as a response? We can say overcoming objection. I just hate that word overcoming, but how to build the relationship so she feels comfortable purchasing from you when you have, when she has those concerns. So that's what you have to study and practice a little later. And Joe's going to talk about that in a second. But at this point, you're finding out, what is she most excited about? If she tells me, I would totally use it if it was in my bathroom, then I'm going to say, I got an idea. You circled that you'd really love this set, and if I could show you how we could break it into payments or even have you earn it as one of my fabulous hostesses, would you be excited to work with me? So I'm going to help gauge, does she want to work to get it for free? And I break it down. So I like to take a minute and on her sales slip, show her, if we did get you everything you really wanted, this would be the breakdown. What do you think? If she says, still maybe too much. Okay, what's your budget? Don't be afraid to ask that. What's your budget? Some people have no clue. So they're just afraid so that they say, nothing, or, I'm not going to purchase anything. So you just want to feel out where they're at. So if she says, oh, well, I guess my budget's like 50 now, but I could do 50 next week. Well, that's easy for me. And that would help her get started much faster, because when she has her party, I want her to have used the product for at least a week, because she's going to be the best advertiser for that party. So the last one here, and then I'm going to turn it over Joe to help with overcoming some of those, or to answer some of those concerns with building the relationship. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Keep adding until she stops. That's really good. You might want to think, I just want to prevent you from going to CVS tomorrow and saying, doggone it, I forgot this. So is there anything else you might forget in your cosmetic bag that you might want to purchase today? And then how would you like to take care of this? So make sure that these are really just something you practice at your table before your actual facial. But this, holding it up and asking them, are some of the best. Now, I'm going to transition to Joe, because Joe helped me get she actually did something that you don't want to do all the time, which is let me try it for a week and see, because she knew that I was a trustworthy person and she knew my friend. So she knew that she would have somebody reinforce that I needed to return it or pay for it, because my friend Carol, I actually didn't recognize I used that name today, but that was something that she did because she really, really, really wanted me to be a customer and hopefully a team member. But many a time you want to find out if they're excited to be a hostess and see who they wrote down. So I'm going to let Joe now just talk a little bit about how do you schedule them to be that hostess or answer any concerns on purchasing the set.
So Susan, like I said in the beginning of the show today, everyone is entitled to 2 complimentary appointments. Your first one is to try the skincare. We just did it from the cheeks down today. Your follow-up, and you heard me say that several times during the show, your follow-up appointment can be shared with friends. And just like Carol today, who is our hostess, just like she got a special look designed just for her, you would have a look designed for you as well. So I see that you put down 4 friends. Would you like to do one big show with maybe 4 to 8 people, or would 2 shows with 4 people at each show be more what you had in mind? Because when you have 2, you earn twice as much, and whichever you'd like to do is fine with me.
Well, I forgot that I might be the recipient.
No, that's okay.
You know what? I probably have about 5 friends that I could fit around my table. Let's go ahead and try for 5. Well,
okay, that's great.
What if they don't all come?
Oh, it's okay. Really, we always expect about half to cancel because life happens. So if you want 5 there, we invite 8. And, a few people may have to cancel at the last minute, but that's okay, because we're also going to encourage your guests to place any outside orders or talk to their friends and see if anybody else needs anything. And it's all going to count towards your hostess credit.
Wow. Really? That'll count outside if they don't show up and they place an order? That'll help me?
Sure. And then for every person there who schedules a follow-up facial with friends, just like you're doing today at Carol's party, it's going to add to your hostess credit.
Wow. There's a lot that I can get then.
Well, that's why we want to keep it super simple. You notice today we just had a small veggie platter and a few cookies and some pink lemonade. You don't want to put out a huge spread. You don't want to worry about, having a caterer there or anything like that. We want to keep it super simple. And if we do it in my home studio, which is basically my kitchen, because that's where the best lighting is, then you can just bring a platter of cookies and I'll provide the pink lemonade and we're all good.
Well, then let's do it.
All right. Okay, so what are some other things that you wanted me to talk about as far as overcoming? Because you guys, I know that some people go, I'm just not the party kind of person. And if they say that, then that's when I say, well, once a month, I get together with everybody who wants to go ahead and try an advanced glamour look, get together with all of them, the ones who don't want to share their appointment with their girlfriends. They're like, no, I just don't want to do that with my girlfriends. And you'll meet some new friends. So I do that the second Saturday of the month. We go from 10 until 12. You come with your face done up to your foundation, and then we play in the makeup. We play with the Chroma Fusion, and we have fun with that. And you'll meet some new friends. And if you decide between now and then that you do have a few friends that you'd like to share a follow-up facial with friends with, then we can always rearrange that date for you.
So I want to share, when I was building my business, I needed those appointments much more quickly. So I had it in my calendar that every time I had my girls' night out at my Success Studio, that was where I was going to do those follow-up facials. And I would have new facials because normally there were enough spots for 2 different appointments to be held. So that allowed me, one night a week, I was opening my calendar up for follow-up appointments, especially if they didn't want to be a hostess. And then if they wanted to be a hostess, they could choose the weekend. So that's something that you also might want to consider, because when you're in a position of earning a car or DIQ, you got to see as many faces as you can. Joe's in a Cadillac per unit, once a month might, sorry, Joe, but it might not work for everybody to have that once a month. Whereas I looked at my calendar every week and said, great, Tuesday night, well, might have been Monday night, but Monday night was my follow-up facial night where you can come and do your glamour, or we can also do it during the day. I had one time during the day, and then of course the weekend. So that gives, some people who might be running for bigger goals, how to get them in faster.
And remember too, that you can always say, I hold appointments 3 different time slots during the week. Now listen to what I say next. I hold appointments 3 different time slots during the week. Which is better for you? A day, an afternoon, or a weekend? I'm not telling them what the 3 time slots are.
That's right.
And they'll say, well, I work during the day, so probably a weekend. Great. Which is better for you, Saturday morning or Sunday afternoon?
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to open up this Sunday afternoon for you. Oh my gosh, I couldn't get together with my friends that quickly. It's funny. People know what they're doing in the next few days, but they don't know what they're doing 2 weeks from now. It's actually easier to get people to commit to 2 or 3 days from now than it is several weeks out. And I'll be inviting everybody from your show and yourself to come to our second Saturday of each month Advanced Glamour Makeover Workshop. So you'll get double instruction on a fabulous new look for you. So that's kind of how I work. In the second Saturday of every month, we have a breakfast of champions here. So I constantly want to be inviting people to that, but I also want to keep the other dates open as well, just like Andrea said. So, definitely be kind of working through that. And if you do work during the day, you guys, there is nothing wrong with going into work early, taking an hour-and-a-half lunch break, or getting off 25 minutes early and meeting someone right after work with your tote bag right there. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I know Vernilla Benjamin used to talk about how she would ride the bus or the subway in New York City to all of her appointments and schedule them before and after her day job.
Joe, I think that sometimes people are in this, I'm dealing with my high schooler and now college son becoming an adult and understanding what that means. And so I think that we've gotten into this little entitlement where we think that we have to have such ease in building a side business that will take over the income and give us the lifestyle and the dreams and the choices. You guys, I had to work my butt off. I had to get up. Now, this was a choice. Why? Because I had to get out of that boss. Now, I loved being able to serve my country, but I could not stand that new boss that I had that micromanaged or gave me a lot more headache. She was an excellent boss. Let me back up. I was definitely wanting freedom, but I also had a desire to have the income and make this business work. So I had to do whatever it took. I really think we're trying to placate a little too much when we aren't looking at, if it means getting up at 4:30, hitting the gym early, showering at work, being packed up in your car for your party. This is what happened to me. This is exactly why I earned my car, and Joanna had an Offspring director that moved into Cadillac, because at lunchtime, I wouldn't sit with my friends and chit chat. I would go out to the car, have a PB&J, and do my booking calls. I'd come back in, finish up my day. At 5 o'clock, I'd go out to my car, I'd get my bag of clothes, come into the locker room. I had a hospital gym. So I went in, changed into my Mary Kay party clothes, went back out to my car, had another sandwich or some salad for dinner as I drove an hour to my party. I haven't gone home. Granted, if you have dogs, have somebody else, hire somebody to take your dogs out. I went directly to where the party was. And sometimes that hour drive, prepping and getting there, and sometimes people didn't show up, but I had the time with the hostess. So as I had the time with the hostess, I would turn it into an interview, and I would do the glamour and then turn it into an interview. But I guess I'm getting a little passionate because I think some of us are thinking, well, if I can't become a director or move up in Mary Kay because it doesn't fit into my Monday night or Wednesday morning or Saturday afternoon, it's just not going to happen. I mean, that's a structure, and we want to live with that structure. But sometimes if I saw somebody and we weren't going to get together because she didn't want to be a hostess, I would go to her office tomorrow at lunch and I would do her glamour, because she was that important to me and I could see her being valuable on my team. So we've got to really understand that you've got to want it badly enough that sometimes you're going to juggle things around to make it happen.
And I worked my business every other Saturday when I was first starting. And this was before cell phones, before computers. I think we rode dinosaurs. I don't think we had cars yet. But, I did it 2 Saturdays a month. That's how I started, because my schedule was so crazy with Kevin and being a military wife and working full time and coaching football and teaching aerobics. So I did my appointments 2 Saturdays a month, but I scheduled an appointment at 9 or 10 in the morning, 12 or 1 in the afternoon, and 3 or 4 on Saturday afternoons. Sometimes I did follow-ups on Sunday afternoons. I was literally working 7 days a week, but I was establishing a customer base. I was meeting new people. I was earning my car and didn't even know it. Got a call from the company and said, "You're on target for a red Grand Am." And I'm like, yeah, right. So you know what? Ignorance sometimes is good, because I just did it. I was like, I like the money. I like seeing the faces. It was a lot more fun than teaching 8th graders all day. And I really wasn't focused on getting out of my job. I didn't have that kind of mentorship. All I knew was I was making good money. And it was more money than I was making teaching school and coaching football. So Andrea was focused and had goals and had plans and planned it all out. And I just kind of flew by the seat of my pants. I remember a couple of times coming home from my teaching aerobics at night, being soaking wet, stinky, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, putting Kevin to bed, and a bunch of women from the gym and their stinky clothes would follow me home. And we would do the skincare, we would call the basic, 5-step basic, from the cheeks down real quick. And I'm like, y'all got to get out of here, because I got to get to bed. I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start my day over again. And so I love that Andrea brought to our attention that it is not always convenient. And how many times do we hear nationals and top directors say, you have got to be willing to be inconvenienced? And don't disappear from your business. Don't disappear from your director. Don't disappear from us. Don't disappear from your business just because you don't think you're doing enough. If you will focus on doing a Mary Kay activity every day before noon, every day before 5, and every day in the evening, just start there. Then add, then add, then add. I can't tell you how many times I've had corporate women say, well, I'm going to go out on my lunch break and I'm going to be doing makeovers then. And I'm like, well, good luck with that. I mean, if you want to do something real quick in someone's bathroom at their office, but really that's a great time to make your booking calls, and or maybe just do a hand show on the back of the hand in the bathroom. But we want to keep that professionalism with our businesses. So I would really focus on making that my booking time, or even going out and getting names from other professional women and then saying, well, I've got my kit with me. What are you doing at 5 o'clock this afternoon? Why don't we meet? And I'll do this real quick in your break room at work, and then we'll both be on our way home by 6. Be prepared. A facial in a bag. Big baggy, Put it in your black travel bag and go. So you guys, really, we're not trying to lecture you. We just see so much potential in you, and we're hearing the excuses, and the excuses aren't making sense to us because we're like, before cell phones and before computers, we were figuring it out, and we went out and met people. So I also want to talk to you guys real quickly about the quality of women you're talking to. If you are constantly getting the name and number of and there's nothing wrong with waiting tables, but someone who waits tables, or someone who checks you out at Walmart, or someone who checks you out at Burger King or fast food places, some of those people are there temporarily, maybe to pay for a college education or to help supply their needs and supplement their needs. But some people have chosen that lifestyle for themselves, and that's really what they want. And so really be a little bit more discerning about, yes, you can talk to the checkout lady at Walmart, and yes, you can get the name and number of the cute girl at Chick-fil-A, but also be talking to the professional women, the women who you notice you go to the grocery store at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening and they're still dressed in their professional clothes, but they've slipped on their tennis shoes so they can do grocery shopping real quick. Those are the women to target. The women who you know are out there working hard, sacrificing, and have a strong work ethic. Hope that wasn't too harsh.
No. And it's still laid on my heart to finish with one more thought on sales. And I think that what you said is brilliant, because I was just talking to somebody, actually it was a college conversation last night with my daughter and somebody who just graduated from this specific college. And she said, I'm now working and going to live with women who have their life together. And I think what I heard Joanna say is, when you look for women who have their life together, they'll find a way to fit you in. They'll find a way to get what they want financially. So I love that. So the thought I had was, I feel like the best ending would be with some people who have struggled when a customer says, oh, I'd love it all. And maybe they say, I'll take the cleanser. I think that a couple of things that I wanted to just come up with or share with you is, I always say, great, the cleanser is one of the best products in the set. And I think that's a really great choice. Now, is there anything else you might like? And as that question goes, if she says, no, that's it, then I might make a suggestion. So I ask permission. Hey, Joanna, I'm really excited for you to get this cleanser. I think it's a really smart purchase. Praise positive. But may I make a suggestion? Sure. Now, again, people want guidance. We want the best athletic shoe person to tell us what shape and pronation, supination, what's the best one for our shoe. Okay, you think you're the professional. Sure, I'll take it. People strive for leadership. So may I make a suggestion? I love how effective our cleanser is, but one of the things that really drew me to being a loyal Mary Kay customer is how important the products have been formulated to work together. And I got to tell you, I'm really not here to sell products to people. I'm really here to have customers for life who are so crazy about the results. Is there any reason why we couldn't talk about the benefits of having the day and the night and the eye cream all together so that you can get the benefits that you're after? So just being somebody, I love that phrase. I'm so happy you're excited about this product, but may I make a suggestion? That might help you find ways to reinforce the importance that you already said during the party of the set, and how you're really not here to sell something to people. You're here to create a relationship where they know from head to toe, every single skincare and beauty item, I want to be your girl.
Well, I'm excited for us to do a video on really selling the sizzle and getting people really excited about the products themselves. But I think we've given y'all a lot of meat to run with right now. I would suggest you get out your flip chart, watch this video again, and kind of be playing with that and talking out loud. You know what, guys? Practice makes perfect. A baby doesn't learn how to walk and run, just from watching other people. They actually get up and do it. You physically do it. You crawl, and then you walk, and then you run. So we want to encourage you guys to take these instructions and then actually practice them. I practice David Cooper looking in the mirror 17 times a day. I know that sounds crazy, but that's why those words roll off my tongue. How many years later, Andrea, when did we see David Cooper in Fayetteville?
Oh my gosh. I actually had him come to Hawaii, but I think that was in, let's see, I signed up 1996.
Like 97.
I think it was 97, my first year.
Yeah. So you guys, I'm still saying those words. It's been 20 years. I'm still saying those words that he had us memorize, because I paid for the workshop and I was getting the biggest bang for my buck.
Exactly.
All right, guys, you have an amazing Moving and Grooving Monday. And I think we ought to just give them a little challenge. What do you think, Dre?
Well, I definitely think, you know,
Oh, you froze. You froze.
Contest is back. Oop, I'm losing you.
Okay, you froze up a little bit.
Okay, I was saying the Chroma Fusion contest is the smartest thing, and you're leading the pack. Why don't you give them a challenge with that?
Okay, you guys, I'm going to end up doing this month 40 faces using this. What I did was I pulled it off of InTouch, I downloaded my computer, I put it on my phone. And I just started sending it in a text message to everybody I know. And I said, I would love to feature your face and enter it in this contest. And if you can bring 3 or 4 girlfriends with you, I'll have a small gift for each. Or I don't say a small gift. I have a sussy or a swag bag for each girl coming. And that's how I've gotten all these women. As they're like, oh my gosh, that sounds like fun. So you guys, the company does this for a reason. Send it to everybody and say, I would love, love, love to enter you in this contest, but we are running out of time. Can we possibly get together in the next 24 hours? And then you do it.
That's great. Okay, more on that later.
Okay.
What's your challenge?
Okay, so I want your challenge. Let's make your challenge be what? No. How many? How many people you are going to have finished by the end of this month? And if you have no one in right now, you might say 3. But hey, that's 3 more than you have right now. You might say, well, I've got 10 in, I'll have 15 in. And you might have 7 in, you say, I'm going to hit 10 in. And I want you to post it on the Shy Family Superstars Facebook page and commit to it. You only have a few days to finish, but you know what? We tend to work really well with a sense of urgency. As you're booking these faces to finish up, and you can say, my crazy director has challenged me to have 5 entries into this contest before November, on or before November 30th. And if they say, I just can't, I can't say, well, is there any reason why you can't enter in December? I would love to have you entered in December. We only have till the 31st. Let's get together before the holidays get crazy. Okay? So post it. We're going to let you post it, and then we will be on Talk to Me Tuesday night. That's tomorrow night, which is November 27th. And we'll be making some announcements on that. Okay? Love you guys. Everybody say bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.